to Glenlarvan, and we are going to start off by rolling the wheat field that we planted last time and did pretty much all of the process in one go apart from rolling. So we need to get that done before the end of the month, otherwise the crop grows and you can't roll it. I actually saw someone posting on Facebook about rolling, and I think originally Giants kind of misrepresented when you should do it, because it always felt like you should roll before you planted, but the game tells you to do it afterwards. Based on my years and years of not experience, but actually watching local farmers and watching farmers on YouTube, it's how they do it. You seed and then you roll to kind of almost seal the soil. That doesn't sound right, but particularly if you're planting and it's a bit dry, you roll and it helps seal the moisture in, I think. If you guys know better, you can obviously comment below, and some of you do, because some of you do this properly. So before we do that, I mentioned in the last video that we were using GPS on the Fendt without GPS being installed, so we're going to do that now. So I guess that's one of the things of using VCAs. You can use it on any vehicle, whether you've paid for it or not, and that's not how it works on this save. So I go in and edit the vehicle and pay the 15 grand to add GPS. That explains why there was a difference in the money that I thought we had when I was looking back at this. So had a little bit of a moment with this save. Regulars will remember that this is run as a multiplayer for the patrons as well as me playing it, and it was up most of the week, and bunch of contracts were done, and then on Thursday and Friday I was away with work. I wanted to take my laptop away to record a video, and what I would normally do is I normally take the server down and I use an FTP app to grab the save and copy it to my laptop, and I forgot to do that on Wednesday basically. And so the videos have been swapped around for this week. So normally this would have come out on Monday and Saxthorpe would have been on a Tuesday, and I swapped around because I could record the Saxthorpe video because I had that save on my laptop. But I finished that, and I woke up really early on Friday morning and wanted to make use of the time and do some recording. So rather than doing it the way I would normally do it, I just logged on to the Giants web portal and downloaded the save from there. But let me do that without stopping the server. And I didn't realize I hadn't stopped the server until I had a message this morning or last night. Kind of had a couple of days of not really keeping up with Discord, from Mark saying, just done a load of contracts and the cows are running out of food. So wait a minute, the server's not online, is it? And it was. So it meant that I had two divergent copies of the save. I think also, yeah, so thanks to Easy Dev, it's all been fixed. But I do need to remember to take out the 15 grand for the GPS. For something else that we're going to buy later, because I reset I did some stuff with the money and I hadn't accounted for that. So, but yeah, I used Easy Dev to mimic the contracts that the guys had done being completed, and we are back where we should be, so that's fine. But yeah, it probably means some more fields need ploughing than would have before. Well, actually no, because most of the ones that the guys harvested were corn. There's some corn and some soybeans, and some sorghum. I think we've got loads of corn. So I'm gonna mill that problem is finding somewhere to ferment it. And I know that I have a very cheap bunker available. I haven't got anywhere flat to put it because this map just doesn't have flat land. Because, you know, like on Saxthorpe, I put the bale bunker in a field temporarily, but the land was flat, so it was easy. None of the fields are flat here. Only flat land is in the yard, and I don't really have space in the yard. I guess I could put it in a corner of the cow pasture, but we don't have a gate. So if we can afford to buy field 8, we could maybe use a corner of that, particularly with the plans to kind of make that a multi-use area. So, and we're actually a lot closer with the funding now, with thanks to the guys doing contracts, and with the excess crop that we've got, we'll probably be able to fund that over the winter. The next thing I need to grab is the grist mill and go and buy some extra wheat from up at the cereal, the grain mill, so that we can in fact mix up a bunch of grain grist. We have so much crop that's come off of the because we didn't actually harvest any of our fields, but at the start of the next video we're going to have 38,000 litres of wheat, 86,000 litres of barley, 35,000 litres of oats. So we need a lot more wheat. Probably double that, maybe more. 17,000 litres of soybeans and nearly 69,000 litres of corn. Yeah, they did a lot of contracts. So actually, let me just count. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, about 18 harvesting contracts, I think, have been done around this video and the previous ones. So yeah, lots of work, and all that excess crop is going to turn into cash when we sell it. I need to look at whether at kind of the finances of what to do with the corn, so we will see. I want to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members at this point. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you all supporting the channel. Let's have a chat about the 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So I've got a plan. I'm thinking that it will be a pack that is my favorite DLCs. So that's, and one of them isn't even out yet. So I'm thinking a copy of the premium DLC and a copy of the horse DLC. I think they're my two favorites. But because I know a bunch of you quite often have things like that, what I'm going to do is do the giveaway probably next week, with those prizes as the intended prizes. But if the person that wins them has already got those, then I'll work something out with them that's equivalent. So if you've got those two DLCs, don't not enter because you've got them, basically. Because yeah, I want to give back to you guys, because it's, you know, it's cool. So yeah, it'll be next week. Probably it'll be in one of the, I'll probably mention it in a couple of the different Let's Play videos. I'm going to mention it in the Let's Plays because I want it to go to people that actually support the channel continuously, not just people that watch the odd tutorial and click subscribe and never come back. So yeah, that's the plan. I was going through this morning what I thought was sensible, and I think that's a reasonable price. And yeah, so it'll be, because I don't know if I can do it for Xbox or Xbox or PlayStation. I don't think I can, so I'm going to say it's for PC because that's easier for me. It'll be Steam or Giants because I'll get the DLC codes from the Giants website, and those will work with your Steam copy of the game anyway. And as I said, if the person that wins has already got those or got one or whatever. We'll work something out. We will have a chat. That's the rolling done. Next job I want to tackle is finishing the ploughing off. I think I said, in fact, I know I said, but I was pretty exhausted by the end of that video. And I was genuinely not drunk on yesterday's video. I just thought I sounded it when I was editing it, so that's why I'm saying it. I said that we had the same plough, and I was confused why they were showing up as different widths. We don't. We have the smaller plough on here, which is why VCA and Courseplay are showing it being a smaller width, because it is. So I think that's me overestimating the width of things, which can happen sometimes, you know. It can happen. Men can overestimate the size of things. So stick this away. We'll grab the plough and get to work. So it's Monday for me. Yesterday I did my 6-hour running event thing. It's not, I don't really think of it as a race, because for me, they're against me, not against the other people there. I love how people who run things like that describe things. The course was described as undulating. I would describe it as frickin' hilly, which I hadn't really prepared for. So it was a bit harder than I had imagined in terms of the terrain. And it was raining a lot. So I did a marathon rather than the... it's going to sound weird, because marathon you measure in miles. The next distance you measure in kilometers. So I was going to do I was going to do a 50k, which is 31.1 miles, but instead I did a marathon, which is 26.2. It actually worked out about 26.4, because that's how these things work. But yeah, it was a bit of a battle, and I do these things for a couple of reasons. Always two reasons. The first one is there's more than two actually, but the two that stick in my head at the moment is it stops me being lazy. I got into a couple times. I got into a bit of a rut where you go, no, I'm not really early, and I'll just sit and play video games until I start work, and I shouldn't do that. So having races entered keeps me motivated to train. Which is good for my health in the long term and good for helping manage my headaches. So one of the other reasons that I do them is I don't want the headaches to stop me doing things. And so that was a big motivation on the last. So it was laps, and on the last lap, I was pretty tired. Things were hurting. It was raining, and and my head was starting to hurt. And the motivation was not letting the headaches win. So it's it's kind of a bit of a balancing act sometimes of training and running through headaches and just kind of letting my body chill. And so I got home last night at about 5:30, I think it was. For some reason there was Sunday rush hour, but I think it was a couple of accidents, so it took me probably 45 minutes longer to get home than it should have done, and I just kind of vegged. And today is quite a chilled out day, so probably not going to get much done. Probably going to fairly early go and just chill with Mrs. D. Watch some TV. I'll probably be asleep pretty early, particularly as I've got to go into work tomorrow. So, and so in the UK, we switched from British summertime to Greenwich Mean Time. So, and it always takes me a few days to adjust. So yesterday was brilliant. because I had to get up at 5 anyway to get sorted. So I had an alarm set for 5, and actually I think I woke up just before, which would have been, you know, like coming up to 6 o'clock this morning. Well, I knew I wouldn't sleep well last night because things hurt. But 4 o'clock I was awake because that's 5 o'clock to my body clock still. So it always takes a bit of time to adjust. Actually, that explains to me why the dogs are really annoying for food at the wrong time. And that's why, because they don't know the clocks have changed. And you would think that the one of the greyhounds has a freaking watch on with how prompt he is at. So I tend to start cooking food for the humans at about 5, which means the dogs eat after us. And at 5 o'clock, he will come and tell me that I need to be doing stuff. Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually how accurate his internal clock is. Right, finished the up down rows, just doing the last of the headlands now. Yeah, so I now sort of understand why this is coming up as a 2.5 meter plough, and I didn't, as I did with the wheat field, there was the potato field. I didn't fight the fact that it was saying it was 2.5 meter plough. We just went with it, and running it as an in-furrow plough because that's what it's meant to be, and it all works great. So yeah, much easier if you don't fight the implement and just use it the way it's meant to be used. So I think I was recording a lot of this. It was like I think I woke up at about 5 a.m. again on Friday, and I didn't have to be in work until about 8:30. Left the hotel at about 8, and so I had loads of time, and I didn't need to train because I was resting and recovering, ready for Sunday. So I was like, I may as well play farm sim. Yeah, got some a good amount of work done, which was nice. And the phrase that stuck in my head then, and I blame you for it, Cartec, for mentioning it once, was a power of work. And that reminds me that FSG seems to be back. He seemed to have had a bit of a break, but I noticed he had a course plate tutorial out a couple of days ago. So I would definitely recommend watching that. And I've got a lot of them, but the guy that I learned a lot of my course play from was FSG. I didn't make any tutorials for it in 19, I don't think, because basically FSG nailed it with his tutorials. And so I would definitely go watch that if you use courseplate and you're interested in using it to do baling, because I'm sure there's some good stuff in there. Yeah, and he has a very good way of presenting things. So, in my opinion, I always found his tutorials quite easy to learn from, and I have used them in the past. So definitely go check them out. And you need to help out these small growing channels. Speaking of growing, Mr. Kartek is now, I know he was stuck for quite a while on 800 subs. I think we spoke about it on a Discord video, and then he had a bit of a burst, and just checking, he is up to 868 now. So if you're not subscribed to him, go do it, because the guy should be on 1,000 subs by now. He makes great Let's Play videos. I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine, because we became friends because we chatted about the stuff we were doing, because I enjoyed his content. So he's one of the few farm sim creators that I regularly watch. So go watch his stuff, go subscribe to him, help him out. That 1,000 subscriber hurdle is quite a grind. So right, that's everything repaired and ploughing finished. The next thing we need to do is sort out some feeding. So because this had been running for the multiplayer stuff, the feed had got a bit low. So we need to take some milk to the calves. They need cleaning out and bedding as well. And then we're going to feed the cows as well. And probably next game day we will bring the cows in, I think. What I want to try is, I've spoken about it a few times, a bale grab. So I downloaded the Persil pack. This is going to sound really sad. I was scrolling through ModHub and the fact that it was bright grabbed my attention. And it had the implement I wanted. So I downloaded it. And we're going to have a go at not putting holes in bales. Although, yes, I know we've already put holes in bales, but we patched all of those. So at this point, it's kind of irrelevant, but I just thought it would be interesting, particularly having done it on console, as to see what it was like. So we're just going to I'm going to grab the small trailer, and we're going to bring round a partial trailer full of the whole crop silage bales in preparation for winter. So November, we're going to get all the grass cut, and I don't know what we're going to do with it. Probably going to have to bale it and wrap it, I would think, because I don't think we've got any room for any more hay, and the clamp's got maize silage in it, so we're probably going to bale it and wrap it. Because at the end of November it will wither. So we've been doing a bit of indirect grazing. I actually keep forgetting to do it. So quite often I will jump on, mix some TMR, feed it, and then go, oh yeah, I was doing indirect or zero grazing. So it's and it doesn't matter either way. Ultimately the grass is going to get cut and fed to the cows or sold as silage, and it's probably worth silaging it and doing it as bales, because there's a good chance we're going to have an excess to sell. We've already got a lot of grass bales stacked up. We've got all of the maize silage still. We've got the whole crop silage from the 2 fields. We've got a shed full of hay bales. So we're in a pretty good position, given that and the pasture's not big enough to support the cows in the summer, but it does part of a job. So, and it could be that with field 8, partly I put in more grazing for the cows. That might be a thing. We could actually put in another one of the pens that we've got, because I could make it so I could put one there. That might work. That might work. So yeah, I'm not going to make you watch me do all of these, because it did take me quite a while. It's quite a slow process. I'm wondering whether it would have been better to use the Merlot, but I've had a lot of struggles with doing bale handling with the Merlot, so that's why I'm not. And I didn't want to use the little tractor, because I thought having something with a grunt would be useful on the kind of hilly field. We do have a lot of these bales to get stacked. I'm bringing them over in bits because I wrapped everything the same color, and I figured this is the easiest way to segregate them whilst being able to keep them close to each other. Although what I didn't realize is that one of those was in fact a grass bale. It was the grass silage bale that I got off the field at the start. So, but it doesn't matter for what we're doing at the moment. So we're going to take some milk over to the calf pen, and then, yeah, because I do actually remember to zero graze this time. So the way we have it set up, the zero grazing covers everything except silage. And so we need to put some type of silage in, so it doesn't matter whether it's grass or whole crop or whatever. That's different to how Maize Plus is delivered. As delivered, it does everything except the hay group. The reason that I changed it is it seems to be more common in the UK that the supplementary feed would be silage rather than hay. So that's why I went with that. I think, I don't know whether it's a regional country thing, but a lot of this is based on watching YouTube again. A lot of the farmers in the UK don't seem to make and use hay. They seem to do everything with silage. I assume there's a reason for that. Maybe it's the climate in the UK where it's hard to get the drying time to consistently make lots of hay. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. So, milk done. We're going to grab the Z-Tour. We're going to put some straw bales in for the cows. I should probably have mucked them out first, but I do it the wrong way around. I know why I did it this way around. I just did. I do like, it's my own motto, like the fact that you can put bales in there, not having to use a straw blower all the time. Again, not uncommon, not unusual. Sorry. For farmers to just put bales in the pen and break them up. So it depends on the farm and the scale of farming and stuff, I guess. And if you watch Joe Seals on YouTube, they always use a blower. If you watch Tom Pemberton, it's a mixture. They have a blower, but sometimes they will put bales in and break them up. So yeah, so that's why, you know, this will do both. You can put bales in, or you can blow it in with a straw blower. So yeah, that's why I went for it. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep them in here until they are 8 months old. I think it's 8 months. I need to check. We're going to leave them in here until they change model size, basically, because that will then suddenly have a very crowded pen, and that's when we'll move them. There we go, full of straw. Don't need as much straw as I thought, but we can just leave those bales there and it will keep it topped up. That's fine. The cows can play with the bales. But we do now need to get rid of the manure, and which is why I should have done it the other way around. Not that it matters, because we can scoop it through the straw plane, but, you know, it would have just felt better to do it the other way, I think. So it's something that I said on a Valley, the old farm video, or the console one. It's really nice to use my own mods. I always make them with the intent of using them, and then sometimes don't, you know. So yeah, it's kind of cool to actually use them and take advantage of them, I guess, because I make them because they're things that I want. So I'm still thinking about getting the farm dairy on here. So I don't think I used that on the Let's Play for the patrons, the previous one, but I don't think I've used it on a normal video series yet. So I think that would be worth doing. We could just make a little bit more off the milk, which I think would be good. You know, maybe we could make some cheese, something like that, to sell. Some genuine Scottish cheese. Yeah. It's really weird. When I was playing 19, I used to get quite fed up of having to clean up the food aisles and things. But not having it in 22, I really missed it. And that's why I did this, because it gives you some of the effect. You know, in particular with the way manure is handled and the auto spawning in manure pit. I much prefer this. And more and more animal pens seem to be doing it, which is cool. I've got a feeling that on the Valley of the Old Farm, the manure is going to spawn in the shed. So, yeah, very cool. I think a bunch of the farms on Court Farms do that as well. I'm not certain because I've not really played Court Farms, but yeah. Obviously, a lot of Lance's sheds have the manure spawn inside, so it's cool. I think it just adds to, you know, if you like working with animals, then you want the jobs to do. Right. Zero grazing. So I spent a bit of time faffing with not thinking I'd lowered the pickup on the forage harvester, but I have. And we are doing fresh or unconditioned grass because it's, if you do conditioned, it feeds all of them. That's intentional because it's designed to work with grazing so that grazing feeds all of their needs. But it's not how the zero grazing is meant to work. You could make it so it did that, and you could just cut it as conditioned grass and it would do that. But that's not what I've done in this playthrough. So, and I'll continue to do it that way. I mean, we only have the option to zero graze at the moment because we have these kind of grass cover crops in. When we get actual crops in the ground, we won't have enough grassland to do that. So we will be relying on grazing and then feeding. So yeah, and this and the other grass field are both cover crops essentially. I have been contemplating turning the other one in once I cut it in November and getting in some late barley. Might do that rather than try and get a cut off it and then plant the barley, because it means it'll be really late for silaging. Assuming we silage it, we might combine it next year. Didn't actually combine any of our own grain. In fact, we didn't combine any of our own crops this year. So the wheat and the barley were mown for whole crop. The corn was chopped for maize silage, and obviously you don't combine potatoes. So all the grain that we've got has come from the contracts. And I mentioned earlier just how much we've got, which is pretty insane, really. And if we do the same thing next year, which there's no reason we can't, then again, we can probably whole crop the wheat and the barley, and that'll be fine. And still just trying to decide how I want to integrate that into the feed, whether I just add it to the silage group or whether I have a separate group. So maybe we have a grass silage and then we have a maize or whole crop silage group. I'm not sure. I'm going to modify it as needed, so I might as well just chuck it all in one and just have it as silage. I mean, I guess they're different in a way, so maybe I should have them different. Maybe I should have, maybe I should do that. Have one that's grass silage and one that's maize or whole crop silage. Just to make it a bit more interesting for the feeding. More chance for me to screw it up, I guess, as well, which you guys always enjoy. So, right, I'm only going to do one wagon of grass because that's enough. By the time we've put some silage bales in, we will be pretty good. I should probably give this a wash and a repair at some point. I don't actually know how things like mowers and forage wagons being damaged affects things, if it does at all. Whether it's like combine and it affects your yield. It's an interesting question. I don't know if anyone's tested that. If they have, you can let me know. I'm kind of curious now. And I've always, obviously, we know that if the combine is damaged, you get less yield. But I don't know how that works with things like mowers. I've never tested it. I feel like I should. That feels like a video to me. I might have to have a look at that. Right, we're going to grab a couple of bales off of the trailer, I think. Or do I just grab one? No, we're going to grab a couple. So one's grass, as you can see, and one's whole crop. That was because I think it was a mixture of, there was some grass left in the baler and there was grass on the field, obviously from like the headland and stuff. So, yep, we got a mixture. Oh, actually, I think we only got one bale that was grass because I think after that I was a bit more careful. So we'll get these in. I think I end up grabbing a couple more as well. I'm not sure. Actually, it might just be these. Bit heavy for this little tractor, but it'll do the job. I love this little thing. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm going to say thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, click the like button. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, or whatever, stick them below. We're going to grab a couple more bales and get those fed. And I will see you next time for... It might be November. It might. I'm not sure. Depends what other jobs we've got to do. We probably need to run the cultivator over the field we finished ploughing, so that might be the job that I do on the last day of October. I am not sure. Need to check on the grass growth as well. It might be that there's some grass to cut. We'll see. Anyway, I will see you next time.